Here I have another quarter-hour strike cuckoo clock that has the man and the woman to designate the weather. Again, it has this knob up here. You turn the guy out if it's raining. You turn the lady out if it's sunny. You put them both in the middle if it's fair weather. And then as the temperature and the weather changes, it'll automatically rotate it to where it is. But I had to take the base off. The bellow on the left side was broken. I did mark it that way. And you want to, if you're like myself, you also want to be able to know which side of the clock that you're working on is supposed to be. So I got this lower. I used my tool again to take the bellow off. This tool works really well. This Master Mechanic reciprocating saw, I believe maybe that's what it's called. I've had it for a while, but this is the way the bellow goes. So you don't get confused, just put a mark, like this is the rear of the clock. I'm going to put R here. I'm going to put F up here. And then an arrow here, meaning this is the side that this bottom part goes. That way, when you get it all cleaned up and you go to put it on, you're not confused, because if you glue it all down and then this is like this is where the hole is, it won't work, because this hole needs to be over here for the bellow to work. Also, you want to blow in there to make sure it's all working properly, to make sure that there's nothing obstructing the holes. But I got this section here pretty well cleaned up. A lot of people complain about my short videos. I live out in the country. My internet speed is extremely slow. For a 5-minute video, it takes approximately 2 hours to load it to YouTube, and I have to watch it to make sure it doesn't stop, because if it stops, I have to reload it, and sometimes it doesn't recognize the portion that was already loaded, so I have to start all over again. This is free. I'm sorry that you have to watch a few videos during that time frame. You could take a break. Most people, if I was to post a 2-hour video, you wouldn't sit there, at least most people wouldn't sit there for the whole 2 hours and watch that video. You would take a bathroom break, or you would get hungry, or maybe somebody came over, or you got a phone call. So the way I post these videos, it gives you a chance to take a break and come back to them. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you can easily find them, and they're set up in folders. If you're not a subscriber, to the YouTube channel, then you might have trouble finding them. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you can find them. This wire here is what lifts the right side bellow. I'm not going to take it off. I got enough space that I can put the new bellow material, and I use Tyvek. What you use is up to you. Well, the first part of doing bellow repair, after you get it all, the wood all cleaned up, is you have to make a hinge. Loctite super glue works the best. I like using super glue. Some people use contact cement. Contact cement to me, I'm an impatient person. I don't want to sit there and wait for it to dry. I want to be able to finish something and go on to the next step. Contact cement, you have to wait for it to get tacky. You have to wait. I don't like waiting. I use super glue, and most days I use Loctite super glue, but there are times that I use just cheap super glue. In this case, the bellow opens like this from the rear. In regular cuckoo clocks, it's going to open like this, but with a quarter-hour cuckoo clock, the bellows open from the rear, because this bellow lifts, with this wire bent down, lifts up this bellow. So they're designed differently. But anyway, I got this piece of paper here, Tyvek paper, that is the same width as this bellow top, and I'm going to glue that paper down to the hinge to make a hinge first. And that is where I said if you got the markings on, that it will help you out when you go to put it together. Just put you some super glue on all the way across the board. Take your hinge, glue it down to the bottom part first. This is the way I do it, and it's simple. And then rub your finger across it a few times. And there, that one's stuck. And then you take the next one. I'm going to put the glue on the paper in this case. Versus the board, because it's part of my hinge. Lining them up together, and then rubbing the paper down onto the board. Cheaper super glue, you got to rub it a little bit longer, but Loctite super glue works pretty fast. So there, I have a hinge. Underneath this paper, there's a weight. A lot of times the weights get lost. So you don't want to lose that weight, and this paper is coming up, so I'm just going to glue this paper down so I don't lose that weight. The material I buy from eBay, I get 20 sheets that look just like this. Now you cut them in half and you have enough to do 40 bellows or 20 sets of bellows. So now I got my hinge, the next step I need to do is mark where I need to put this bellow down. So you want to fold some over on each side. And you got excess, so you want to cut that excess off now, and that's why I marked it, so I can cut the excess off. Again, starting with the bottom section of the wood, I'm going to put some glue on it, and then glue that to the paper. And that, you know, if I was using contact cement, I couldn't have done that. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I put the glue on the board, put the board on the paper, and lifted the paper straight up. So now that I got that part on, I'm going to glue this part down. That part's glued down. Now I'm going to glue these sections down. My paper is coming off. So I need to put some more glue on. That could be a couple different things. It could be because I'm using cheap glue, or I didn't prep the wood good enough. And I'm thinking it's because I didn't prep the wood good enough, because it's coming off here too. And every once in a while, you might have to rip what you did off and start from scratch. It's just part of the ordeal. If you didn't prep the wood good enough, you just might have to start from scratch. But most time you can repair any mistakes. So now that I got it all glued down, I want to close up this bellow. By pushing on both sides and then closing the top. It's already, once you add some pressure to it and then you finish it, it will start to close easier like it is. Every once in a while you might have to add weights to it. And now I need to trim off all this excess. It don't have to be pretty, it just has to work. Now if you want to take the time and make yours pretty, that is totally up to you. I just want mine to work. I don't care what they look like. Now we got the excess cut off. I'm going to glue the folds over, but I want to use less material as possible. And the reason why I say that, the more material you have on, the harder it is for it to close. So you might have to add more weight to it. See, there's enough. I still have tabs, so I'm going to glue these tabs over, and that will close up the folds. And once it's glued back down to the main portion of the bellow, it will get you that nice pretty sound. I'm just gluing off the excess here. Okay. Now I took this out, which actually is the arm to lift up the bellow, so I need to put that back in place. And you could put it in the same hole if you want, but a lot of times that hole is worn out. So I like putting it in a new hole. Last step is to glue it back down to the case. And this is going to take a while to dry. I hope y'all are liking this video. Please hit the subscribe button. I got the clamp on the bellow. This movement, the movements are normally nailed in to the base of the clock, but this particular movement has got these little grooves in this sides of the clocks, and they shove the movement in through these grooves. So I'm going to see if I can get it out. And here we are. And if you watch my other videos, I'm not going to take this apart, but I am going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. It does work properly. If you can hear that, the click is working properly. But I'm going to clean it up. And the reason why I don't take them apart is because these little tabs here are bent over to hold the plate on, and once you start unbending these little metal tabs, you could break them off, and I don't want to break it. And the clock is functioning properly. You put some pressure on the grate wheel, the clock is working properly. I just want to clean it up some. So that's what we're going to do, is clean it up. And they're called quarter-hour cuckoo clocks because of these 4 pedals on this flower. Every 15 minutes, it makes the clock cuckoo one time. Here I have it in my ultrasonic cleaner. I set it for 10 minutes. I got it around 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. Any hotter than that, you're going to mess up the plating, if it's got a plating on it. I got the homemade solution in there, a simple green Dawn dish detergent, some acetone, and water. Yeah, you'll have to watch my video for my homemade cleaning solution. Now I got the movement out of the cleaner. I rinse it off in water. If you got a huge movement, you'd want to do a double rinse. Being a little bitty movement like this, and this container full of water, it's suffice to rinse it in the same water a couple of times. And then I get a bowl of rubbing alcohol here to disseminate any of the water. Now I have my ice cream bucket full of holes. I put the movement in there, put the lid on top that has a hole for my hair dryer that has 2 settings. I put it on the lowest setting and I walk away, and I'll come back in 10 minutes and take it out. It'll be dry. If you put it on the high setting, it's going to change the color of your movement. So keep it on the lowest setting, and I wouldn't leave it in there for more than 10 minutes. Now I have the movement out of the dryer. I got a flat piece of wire. I got a wire here with a flat end on it. I dip it in my oil, and I use synthetic motor oil myself, and then I go around putting a drop of oil on each one of the pivots. Along with the click. And along with the escapement wheel. You put a drop of oil, and then you run the escapement wheel around, and that will oil up the wheel. But I'm still waiting on the glue to dry, so we'll get back to you in the second part of this video. And this thing is already 29 minutes long. It's going to take me a while to post this one video on YouTube, so sorry if it's more than one video, but again, the videos are free. Please hit the subscribe button. God bless.